Look at us, just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes, you know.
Just two bros.
Just, what up, bro? How you doing?
Found it.
Boom.
Hey guys, you already know what it is. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN provider which allows you to easily surf the web with security and privacy. But the coolest thing to me, and one of the reasons I like to use VPN services, is it allows you to change your location to anywhere in the world with just a couple clicks. That way you're not bound by your location's internet restrictions. For example, the Netflix in the UK might have some different shows that you don't have in the US and vice versa. But by going to surfshark.com/Maddy, you can download Surfshark, and with just a couple clicks, you can change your location to the UK, and that way you can access their version of Netflix. Or another good example is whenever you try to go watch a certain YouTube video and then you get that message that says this video is not available in your country. Same thing, just a couple clicks, and now all of a sudden you're in Germany and this video is now available to you. There are no borders online thanks to Surfshark. And all the while, your data is being protected. And unlike many other VPN providers, they do not track and sell your data. Way before I ever partnered with Surfshark, I'd been using VPN providers, and I would encourage everyone to be doing the same. And I know for a lot of people that aren't as tech savvy, VPNs sound kind of scary and complicated, but I promise you it's super simple. It is literally just a couple taps. And with so many VPNs out there, why not choose one that has tens of thousands of positive reviews and one that supports some of your favorite creators like me? So try it for yourself by going to surfshark.com/Maddy to get started today with 4 extra months free. That's surfshark.com/Maddy. And now, onto the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Give It To Me Straight, where we don't tolerate quitters, we interview them. I'm your host, Maddy Morphosis, and joining me on the show today is one of my favorite quitters, the Miss Congeniality and Golden Boot winner of Season 13, Lala Ri.
What a way to start the show.
We're setting the tone, you know.
Setting the tone.
We're letting people know this is a little lighter, you know, they can exhale, relax. You know, we're not too buttoned up around here.
We're not at all.
Well, I mean,
right?
you are. You actually came dressed.
I did. I mean, if I'm going to quit drag, I still have to look some type of way, right? I still have to give something I wasn't given in drag, which was a good look.
Exactly. Yeah. On this show, we try to, the conversation isn't too serious, but we try to take ourselves seriously, you know, so always dress your best and, you know, put your best foot forward.
Yeah,
that's what we're all about here.
All about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I am definitely taking you serious in this moment.
Well, doing the intro, I keep almost stumbling over my words because I keep almost saying miss or she or sister. I'm still adjusting. I feel like someone's conservative aunt that's trying to keep up, you know, but I'm just almost stumbling. I'm like, wait, no, he, because you don't like she.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't like it. I don't mind it though.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really not my thing of calling me a she. Because when I was in drag, I didn't really care about being called he. You know, because, you know, some drag queens, oh my God, you call me he. I didn't care, you know. But if people call me she, obviously they saw a beautiful, lovely, luscious woman, honey. So if they called her what they saw.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about Atlanta clubs is the lights are so dim. So shout out to all the Atlanta clubs.
Shout out to all the Atlanta clubs. And the bartender that was serving all the good drinks to make them think.
Extra strong.
Extra strong, yes.
People looking at you and dragging.
That's her.
That's
a
woman.
She. That's a woman.
Womana,
honey.
But yeah, I definitely want to talk about your recent departure from drag and how your identity in and out of it and everything. Which if you guys are interested in that, we'll put the timestamps below if you just want to jump to that. Really curious. But before that, I want to get into some of the actually important things like the bag look. Just while we're talking about it a little bit. Again, on the show, I try not to talk about drag race too much, but I feel like this is something that people would be upset if I didn't talk about, especially with me being a Golden Boot winner.
Yes, I passed it down to you, right?
You did, yeah. You were the emeritus, and I was the first one after that.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have any tape?
Cause the hair is falling off, honey.
Yeah, just big tape. It could be duct tape, clear tape.
Gaff. Just tape the whole head.
Yeah, just let me know when you pause or you're totally fine.
We're not totally fine. I got things to do today.
Okay, so now that we have addressed the wardrobe malfunction, that leads me to my first question. How did that little furry thing stay on your head? What was the furry thing?
So the furry thing was an actual bag. It was a purse.
Okay.
I don't know who was going to wear that purse, but it was a purse. How it stayed on is still a mystery even to me of how it stayed on. Because I don't think I glued my head to a purse. I hope I didn't glue my head to a purse. But it's drag race. You never know what you might do.
That's some Dragula stuff.
That's right.
super gluing
Right.
a Forever 21 bag to your forehead.
Exactly. Let me staple it. But somehow it stayed. But as you know, as you saw, I took it off at the beginning of the lip sync because I knew it wasn't going to stay very long.
Well, whenever you're doing that lip sync, because it's all coming apart, but then after the lip sync, it's like miraculously somewhat together. So they probably took a pause to help you kind of stitch yourself together.
They take me up in
They taped
between
you up.
takes.
they got the field medic out there to piece you back together.
It was quite the scene. So we're done lip syncing, and I have like 3 or 4 PAs coming up with tape, and they picking up bags off the ground, just taping me back together. And I was like, okay, this could get even more embarrassing. Taping me up in front of RuPaul.
Before this lip sync, though, after the runway, you go back to the workroom for like the Untucked, and we were kind of talking about it a second ago. But despite not wearing a wig, you're in the Untucked, petting one like a show dog. So what was up with that?
There was a lot going on that day. So if you remember in that scene, that is the scene where Candy and Tamisha Iman was having an argument. So you ever seen those memes?
So there was just a lot of chaos happening.
There was a lot of chaos that day.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those memes of, I'm not nosy, but, you know, if I hear a fight going on, and they're like, I guess, mopping the grass or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was one of them type of things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really into drama, but girl, let me grab this wig and pretend like I'm brushing the wig, but I'm really into what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was one of them kind of moments.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't...
Because I don't really know what else the reason would be. I was watching it back and I was like, why?
Was it your wig or someone else's?
I don't know who wig it was.
So someone just came backstage and their wig is just all straightened out and laid out for them. They're like, what the heck?
You're welcome, girl.
Like, what happened? So smooth. And then they saw the footage afterwards of the Untucked. But with the look, I'm going to go off on a limb and assume this wasn't like your first choice for that runway.
Yeah,
and I think it was? No. But like, I think we probably had a similar experience because whenever my first design challenge, which I was also in the bottom for, was like the red, white, and blue gown that we had to make.
I didn't watch the season. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's fair.
Okay.
But when I was making the outfit, it just wasn't going the way that I thought it was. And so we had to go back to the hotel, and I just smuggled whatever fabric I could bring with me, brought it to the hotel, stayed up all night stitching something together to make something that was pieced together. So I understand, and I don't judge.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, it's a very high-stress environment. It sounds like a lot of time until you're in it. So, like, what happened? Walk us through, like, the events. What were you originally going to do, and how did we get to what happened?
Yeah. So I think originally when we were when they were setting up the scene, I was looking at the material that I think Denali had for her dress, and I was going to actually like glue it to a hoop skirt. Is what she did. I don't know if I was supposed to be RT, but I was thinking about that. Somehow she got to it before me, and I ended up with the gift bags. Okay, get this together. Girl, you offended because I talk about Denali. So I grabbed the gift bags, and originally I was going to, I guess, like make a Tina Turner inspired dress somehow, some way.
You went for whenever she checked into that hotel, Tina Turner.
That part, yes. All I got is 55 cents to my name. So I tried that. It didn't fit the body, my padded body at the time. So I was like, well, I need to figure out something. So somehow, some way, I saw a corset, I saw glue, and I saw those bags, and I didn't even think about at least cut up the bags in shapes. It was just so much pressure.
How much? Okay, so like I know people talk about how like the design challenge you have like 8-9 hours, but at this point you obviously don't have the full amount of time. So like, what was the time period you were working with to throw this together?
Like 5 minutes before.
Okay, so like all the people.
Honestly, like I know I had like a whole day, honestly, to put that together. To be honest.
Was it just like not going the way you thought it would as you're making it?
Yeah,
or?
it wasn't. And then I had Utica next to me making a freaking couture gown out of a sleeping bag. And I'm just like,
it's a little demoralizing.
It was just a lot. I just send me home. I don't even want to do the runway. Just send me home.
Yeah. For me, like the second design challenge where I went home, I at least was still able to maintain a little bit of illusion. I was like, well, maybe I'm telling a story. Maybe they'll like that. But you were just like fully resigned to like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We put my iPod in, listen to this song.
I rehearsed that song all night because I knew. I wasn't shocked.
You still like you modeled it as well as you could have, like on the runway. You still had the confidence. You're still giving a little bit. So like, was that just maybe there's still a chance mindset, or was that just well, let me just put on a show?
Yeah, that was me. You're not gonna see me sweat.
Okay.
And I'm an entertainer
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, so I'm gonna still sell it the way it needs to be sold. You couldn't
Mhm.
have not told me I was not in Gucci or Fred Wayne.
Yeah. Mhm. A lady do carry a gift bag.
A lot of them.
Yeah. And people talking shit, it's not cheap either. As someone that has made one myself now, these are like $1.25 a piece. It's not that cheap.
It's not that
so,
cheap,
even at the dollar store.
Yeah.
So, don't come for her. Check the price tag.
Yeah. The fans, but the fans were upset with me because sitting at home, Joey J in that bag look, they was like, she shouldn't even had the chance to even lip sync.
Oh, it's like automatic elimination. Yeah, I will say, like, rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers to, Miss J. But it is kind of heartbreaking to see Joey go. Especially, I can't imagine how Joey felt going home and then looking over and you're just sitting there, your bag's flopped over. And
Getting
just
taped
like,
up.
yeah, it's like, well, you lost the lip sync, so.
Here we are.
But that's the game.
Here we are.
It is what it is.
Here we are. I don't think Joey deserved to be in the bottom of the episode. I thought Joey had a really nice look.
Who should have been in the bottom?
Next question.
It's ancient history. You were hurting feelings. we won't call it like that. It's okay. It's
Woo!
No, she listened. So you knew you were going to lip sync. Did you think that, like, well, maybe I can win the lip sync and still stay? Or were you just like, this outfit's so bad, they're going to send me home regardless? Like, what was your headspace?
Yeah, I honestly, I knew I could perform. I knew I could lip sync my way through it. So I honestly feel like I could lip sync and stay.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's how I felt at the time.
Okay. So you were just like, well, it's okay. I still got an ace in my sleeve.
Yeah.
What was the lip sync song again? It was
Iggy, so what can I sing? Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fancy.
I mean, I don't think you're singing well enough to clock the sisters like that.
I don't know.
We don't put autotune on the channel. You're good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I would say that, like, if it was like a Beyonce song or something, you would have been like, oh, I'll be fine.
Oh, listen, I would have just...
But Iggy, you're like, well, it's 50-50. We'll see. So you weren't fully defeated, but you also weren't fully confident that you were going to be sticking around.
And I did not know that song at all before the lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to learn that song.
Mm-hmm. It's not in your wheelhouse. You're not at the club doing Iggy Azalea songs all the time? No.
Not at all. No. I love Iggy. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Iggy, but I was not doing Iggy before that.
With the bag look, I know a lot of people have been wanting to see a revamped version of it, especially when you went to All Stars, but one never came to fruition. But I have it on good authority that you were planning to make one.
Yeah.
You had like a whole inspo board and everything of like ideas for it. So why didn't this ever get made?
How did you get... Like, I was literally... Let me tell you something before I get on this. I was going through all of my social media and everything. I was like, because Maddy is not about to get me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you find this. So... it's insane. So, yeah.
I'm not putting the username or nothing, so don't worry about that. But like, I saw the inspiration, I saw the designs, and I'm like, this would have been a really good idea. And you had All Stars, so like, why didn't it come together?
Yeah, so it was supposed to come together. So when I was in the process of getting it made, the designer that was making it, he didn't get a chance to finish it before I left to film All Star. So he had to ship it to me. And what he shipped was, I felt, worse than that. And I was like, I can't go on the stage again and do this again, because I was going to do it as a reveal. The reveal runway, I was going to be a gift bag coming out of it. It's going to be the gift.
Oh, were you going to come out like a giant gift bag? It's going to be in something couture.
Yeah, and I was going to come out of it.
You should have just pulled it off, and it's this look again. It's like, she's back.
That would have been tea. No shade. But yeah, that was the reason behind it. So, yeah.
Well, now with your new male persona, have you thought about revamping it like a masculine version of the look? Or are you just leaving this era behind
You're just leaving the era behind,
I'll say you leave it behind. It's going to follow you no matter what.
It really is, right. It was some things you just don't change. Just let it live as it is forever.
It's probably best. Leave it untouched. It has the legacy that it has.
Yeah.
Not every movie needs a sequel.
Not every movie needs a sequel, okay. They use enough tape the first time.
One disaster is enough. They don't need a Titanic 2.
Okay.
We know how it ends.
We don't want to live through that again, okay.
But getting on Drag Race as like a drag performer is obviously a huge deal, but drag was never your initial plan because you started off as a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get like into dance? Like, what was your like segue into that? Did you look at your family dancers and stuff, or?
Yeah, so I come from a family of entertainers. My father actually was a dancer. But as for me, as how to I got into to dance, I started at the age of 5. And
Mm.
dance was a way for me to get away from my everyday life issues that I was having.
Mm.
Like dance was my escape or my freedom, I should say. I used to dance as like therapy. Um, I didn't start taking it serious until I was like 14 when I got into class,
Mm.
and then I started getting professional.
You have a bad day at school, you come home, you start stomping in water puddles.
So I literally did that. I used to go in my. Let me tell you the first story. I would go home, finish my homework, and I would go in my mother's backyard every night and dance like 9 p.m. from like 4 p.m. to like 9 p.m. And the neighbor used to watch me as they were cooking whatever they was cooking, child, and they were like, just shaking their heads like, look at this boy out here again, just dancing in the
Just
backyard.
blasting Confessions Part 2, just stomping in little puddles. What was like your go-to like song? Or what year was this roughly? Like when you're really in the backyard?
This had to be like 2006, 2005.
Okay, so this is like
in that era.
Like
So,
what kind of music were you mostly dancing to?
Trina.
Oh, Trina.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was the bad.
at
Don't
like
ask me.
13.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
No, actually, I'm still trying to figure out what my mother bought. My mother bought these albums for me to blast.
Yeah,
Yeah. it
Like
was-
some parents are supportive and some are enabling. I feel
Yeah.
like this is like she created this monster.
She said, "Well, live your truth, baby. Here you go."
But your first time really performing in front of a large crowd, you were 7 or so. What were you doing?
I was in the Christmas. How do you know all this information?
I was there.
You was there, right?
I got the camcorder footage. Pull it up.
Right,
No.
let me see it. No, I was in a Christmas play, and my class at that time, we did a hip hop version of the 12 Nights of Christmas or 12 Days of Christmas or something. And that was like my first experience of performing, singing and dancing. Yeah.
You sing at some little Christmas play. You're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my
wanna do
life.
for the rest
That
of
hit
my
hard.
life. Yeah, it did. The 12 Nights of Christmas, the hood, 12 Nights of Christmas.
So like between like ages of 7, you first started performing. 13, you really started getting into dance. Like, were you just like a little performer like every avenue? Like, were you just like anything artistic you can get into? You were just trying to find your way in.
Yeah, I did marching band.
You were on the cymbal line.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were,
Oh,
no,
wait,
where did-
listen.
You were on the cymbal line.
Oh my God. What? How did you? I don't even know what this picture is.
Well, the crazy thing though, the craziest thing isn't that you were in the band. The craziest thing is that you had so much hair back then.
Oh
That's the
my
crazier
God. Are you
part.
putting these pictures? Where are you putting these pictures at on this?
It'll probably be right there behind your
This
head.
is great. Oh, look at that gap, child. And that was weave, actually. My auntie did hair, and she put weave in my head, like hair weave.
Ball back then too.
Yeah,
She just glued it on.
basically. Yeah, and this symbol, funny story. You see this? I don't know if you can see it if it's colored in, but this symbol gashed my eyebrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it was real bad. That's why it's cut like that. Yeah, child.
Like you're one of the few people to get a career-ending injury from playing the cymbals.
Right. Yeah. So I
weren't cut
played
out
the
for the
cymbals.
band.
Right. I wasn't cut out for the band, literally. I played the cymbals for my high school year. I danced. I sang in a choir. I did theater in a choir as well. Like anything artistic, I wanted to do.
Were you like a big personality, or was it just kind of like on the stage you had a big personality?
I was a big personality. So
Okay.
how that came about? Okay, when I was younger, I used to get picked on a lot. And one day I was just talking at the lunch table and I said a joke. I don't even remember what the joke was, but the whole entire room just went crazy and said, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. I was like, girl, okay, I repeat it. And they went crazy again. So I realized that if I make them laugh, they wouldn't talk about me. So I just started basically becoming a class clown. Like I got put out a lot for being the class clown. So that's how the big personality came about. It was like a defense. It was a defense mechanism. Coping. Yeah. It was just like my shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, they're kind of funny, so we can't make fun of them for like dancing
Exactly.
over by themselves, like during recess and stuff. So, is that what you were doing? Like, just like all the time dancing wherever? Or is it
Anywhere.
just
I would
anywhere?
just be twirling just
It's like just pirouetting down the hall
right
between classes.
at the urinal. Just
Janitors hated you.
yeah, right they did. Just piss everywhere. Move in here, girl.
You went to college. What all was that for? Was it just for dance, or like what were you pursuing?
Theater arts. So I went for 1 year because I realized that I didn't want to be in school, and I was already working as a dancer at that time. So I was like, well, I'm going to school for something I'm already doing. So, girl, why waste my money or my mama's money? or the government's money. I don't know who money. It wasn't my money. It was somebody's money that I was wasting.
You had a really successful career as a dancer, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But how did you really get into this dance career despite not going to school for it and dropping out? Is it like different, like how you get into this kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's all about.
I wasn't a read. I was just curious.
Yeah,
I don't know how the world,
I don't
know how the
know.
world of dance works. I assume people that go to school tend to get more opportunities.
No, you really don't have to go to school. Like I trained at a dance studio called Gotta Dance Atlanta, and a lot of professional dancers and choreographers came through there. Kimmy, who was like Beyonce's dance captain, used to train and teach at this studio. Just a lot of them. And it's all about word of mouth and auditions and stuff. Yeah, basically.
Oh, so it's a lot more like networking rather than going to school.
Yeah, just who you know, basically.
Yeah. So if you just want to look in the camera there, let people know, drop out. They don't need to go to school.
Yes, please drop out. Don't waste your money, your mama's money, the government's money.
Yeah.
And just go find the nearest strip club and get your life.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm successful. I'm sitting here, give it to me straight.
Yeah, dreams come true.
Dreams
Drop
come
out
true.
of school, you might land up on this YouTube show.
Give it to me straight. I don't know.
Thank you for that. What's the word I'm looking for? Not review, but hyping up the show.
Yeah, anything for
Give
charity.
us our flowers.
Yeah, anything for charity.
So it's not that often that the guest kind of like throws it back. So thank you for having that one in the chamber. It's refreshing. I need it. It humbles me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get too high. It kind of brings me back down a little bit.
I did my research, okay? I was
did you?
prepared, yeah.
So you want to be a performer, you get into dance. So you first started, like, I'm assuming you just left high school and started going to the dance studios. Is that how you really got into it?
Yeah, well, I was already going to dance studios even while I was in high school. But when I got out, I was literally in the dance studio like 7 days a week. I was a part of the work study program at Gotta Dance. So I was able to get free classes for every class there. And it was open 7 days a week. So I didn't have a job. So all I did was go to the dance studio 7 days a week.
Damn, your family, you got in a work program, your family's struggling to pay bills, and you're just dancing?
I'm just dancing. I was even staying with my family. I was just on the verge of being homeless, actually, but I was just dancing. I didn't care.
I don't need food. I don't dance.
Exactly. I was so thin. I'm surprised you have. Well, you probably do. I don't know, but I was like pencil thin at that time because I wasn't eating. Like I was just constantly dancing.
Oh my god,
nonstop. Yeah.
So did you stop dancing? Is that why? Like, never mind. Where we go?
Yeah, please.
But when you got into dance, like obviously it's something you want to do, but like what were your goals for dance? Because you accomplished a lot doing dance, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Like you were making moves with it. Like what was your like end goal with everything?
Yeah. My biggest goal was to dance with Janet Jackson and Beyonce. And at the time,
So
Beyonce.
just, attainable, not too far goals.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah.
But Beyonce kind of was too far at that time because Beyonce had these big macho masculine dancers at the time, and I was far from that. Janet, I was a little close to, but yeah, Beyonce was unattainable at the time.
Like you traveled around. I know at one point you even like danced in China. Was that for an opportunity, competition? What was that about?
Yeah, so I lived in China for a year and a half, and I was signed to a dance agency over there, a talent agency, I should say. And I was just able to tour China, work with different artists over there, local artists over there. And
how do you get something like that? There's like, hey, we're going to China.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'm trying to remember. I do know how I got to China. So someone in America, they had like this opportunity to go dance at a club in China, and they asked me, "Do you want to go dance at the club in China?" I needed money. I needed a job, so I said yes. I got to the club, hated it, like absolutely hated it. Somebody from the agent was at the club one night, and he noticed me. They was like, "Hey, you want to come to Shanghai?" Because the club was in Haikou. They was like, "Do you want to come to Shanghai and work for my agency and do these tours and stuff?" Yeah. So I literally snuck away because I was in a contract with the club. I literally snuck away and flew to Shanghai like the next day to do this, and they had threatened to get me deported out of the country, the club in Haikou, because I left without finishing. Yeah, it was a lot, child. I had left without finishing the contract, and they threatened to get me deported back to America.
That's insane. You like threats of like deportation sent halfway across the world because you're over here dipping out on clubs in China.
Yeah, but clearly they didn't because I ended up staying like a year and a half. But, yeah.
Sounds like some like crazy spinoff to Honey or something.
Listen,
like,
but I was so nervous because like I'm in China and I really don't know much about China, and like what if these people kidnap me and I'd be like,
But you eventually kind of wrap up doing the dancing and start focusing on like more like live performances and stuff. because you said you had pretty much accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish in dance, outside of Beyonce and Janet, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what were the goals, the little checklist of things that you had already accomplished that you just wanted to do? What was the reason you feel like you kind of hit the ceiling or you didn't want to go any further?
Yeah, well, the China thing, I was able to do that. I danced with Trina Braxton. I had did a few tours as well. And I was just like, well, it's really nothing else that I want to do backup wise. Like, I want to be in the forefront some type of way. So I took a year off once I got moved back to Atlanta. And I worked at, as a concierge. At first, I walked out and quit that job. And I worked at the W Hotel. And I quit that job. I was in Miami, and I quit that job in Miami. And I started back dancing. Well, this is going to kind of jump to the drag portion, so I'm going to slow down
Well,
there.
we're going to segue into like the drag here in a second, so
Yeah.
that'll probably be a good segue. So
Yeah. So I quit that job, and I started back dancing. So when I started back dancing, I did this new thing of dancing in heels and makeup. Not necessarily drag, right? But androgynous, if you will. And I did like this competition called Vibes, I think, in Atlanta. And mind you, they had never seen anything like that before. Like, only thing they knew associated with a male in makeup and heels was drag or whatever. So
was that like the Sugar Boys thing you were doing?
yeah, how did you? Yes, the Sugar Boys. That was the Sugar Boys. Yes. So the Sugar Boys, we had a performance, and people associated what I did to drag, and I wasn't doing drag. And a promoter saw a video of it, and he asked me to come do his show the next month, and he paid me, I think, like $300 or something.
No, damn.
Right, and
I was like, I was curious about was like the time you were doing that. I didn't know of like any clubs that really having male entertainers that are kind of like androgynous do anything like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was just something you were kind of kickstarting or if it was an Atlanta thing. But so it was just kind of new to everybody.
it was new to everybody. They took it and they loved it. It was like a lot of the pageant girls didn't like it because they was like, "You coming in, taking our jobs, doing what you doing, child? This bullshit." And I was just like, "Well, girl, I mean, I didn't ask to be here. He saw a video of me and asked me to come." But yeah, he booked me for that, and then he just kept booking me month after month after month after month, and then eventually I was like, "Well, okay. Now I have to take this drag thing serious." So that's when I started transitioning over to more of a feminine style of drag, with the pads and the wigs, and cut off my facial hair, changed my name to Lala Ri, because I was going by Larico for the longest.
With like getting into it, when did you make that decision to go from just like regular dancing to dancing in like heels and like a little bit of makeup? Like, what gave you that idea?
I wanted to try something new because I was just bored with just being a backup dancer. Like, I wanted to be in the forefront some type of way. I was doing music at the time. Excuse me. I was doing music at the time, but they didn't know how to market a queer artist because we didn't have the Saucy Santanas or the Lil Nas X at that time. So music just kind of faded away, but I still wanted to perform. So I just had this idea of putting on these heels and makeup and doing this dance showcase.
So it was the queen's just like upset because you're just out dancing them, and they're like, "Well, you're not even wearing a wig."
Right.
And so you just decided one day you're like, "Fine, I'll wear a wig."
Yeah, exactly. So I had like facial hair and all this, but I was still performing like Beyonce. And I was also known for doing like productions. Like, I used to have like 20 dancers on stage with me, 10, 20 dancers. I came from the ceiling one time in the Jungle nightclub. Like, I would just put on these huge productions. I don't know how I was able to afford all of this stuff, but somehow, some way I was able to afford all this stuff at the time. And I think it was more so, well, who is this bitch coming in doing fucking splits from the ceiling in the pit of fire, like, and facial hair? Like, and I got to put on pads and makeup and all this stuff.
So whenever you actually made the transition from this androgynous performance style to drag, was that something that you wanted to explore, or was it something you felt a pressure that you had to do?
I felt a pressure I had to do to really succeed in the industry, because at this point I was like, well, I guess I gotta take this serious, you know? Like, people are booking me more, people are noticing me more around the city. And they had like this big drag competition called Dragnificent, which is actually hosted by Phoenix from Drag Race, the pilot season or something like that. I don't know where she came from.
Phoenix? Is
Phoenix.
she the one that's in Nashville? Baldwin? Oh, that's Princess. I was like, wait a minute.
Not you getting your white queens mixed up.
They all look the same to me.
Me too.
Anyway.
No, shout out to Phoenix from Atlanta. The Queen of Atlanta. Phoenix has a show called Dragnificent, and I auditioned for that, and I got on it or whatever, and I was doing really good. And I think that is really what made me transition more into the feminine side of drag. Going there.
So like you getting into drag, like not only was it never like the intention, but it wasn't even something you were like super excited about to begin with. It's just kind of like, well, if I want to keep this going and be more successful in this, I got to throw on a wig.
Yeah, it was the money, honestly. I was surviving. Like I was able to do it full time without like getting a regular job. So I said, okay, I got to take it more serious. I got to, because if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my all into it. I'm not going to half-ass it.
What's crazy to me is that, like, say you weren't like super excited about it, but unlike all the other jobs you have, you didn't quit drag. Well, I mean, you did now, but like not at the time, though. You know,
I took waited 7 years.
Your actual jobs, you bounced out of those real quick. But drag, you gave it a few years.
I did, because I don't mind walking out in the middle of something I don't like. I did it on Drag Race twice, actually. Yeah, it never made the scene.
Wait, you walked out on Drag Race?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah. So I can talk about it now. The first season 13, I was doing my confessional, and I didn't like something that my storyline producer had said to me, and I don't like to react instantly because I always think about like if you react, like the consequences of it. So I feel like the best thing for me to do if I don't like something is to walk out. So I had walked out doing that confessional.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then
you remember like the context of what was said, or like what was it?
Well, I do, but I don't really want to put all that.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second time I walked out was actually the episode of me winning the security, the improv challenge. I walked out at the beginning of that episode because I was upset at something a producer had said to me, which when I think about it, it wasn't nothing bad, but I was just so upset because I didn't win the musical, the previous episode. So I think that just lingered over into.
You said a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. So he said something to me, and I walked in on camera, and I said something, blah, 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 and I walked out and just snatched off my mic and everything. And then I realized I didn't have no way home or no phone, so I walked back in and did my job. Actually, I think 4 people walked out on that day. It was me first, and I think Candy walked out that day, and I think Kahana walked out that day, and I think Alexis probably had walked out.
Oh my gosh, the girls were mad.
The girls were mad. That's the episode that Rue came in and she just cussed us out. It just went off on us.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot going on that day. Child.
This is like, I feel like subtle foreshadowing of an abrupt ending to this interview here in a moment. It just you're like soft launching. You're like, just so you know, I'll walk out of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm gonna walk out very soon.
I don't own anything here. So if you want to break something, it's good for the algorithm. They'll bill you, not me, so we're good.
It's my ride outside.
So with the drag stuff, obviously like it's paying your bills and everything, but it wasn't like what you wanted to be doing. So why did you do it for as long as you did?
To make people happy. I'm a people pleaser, and I'm an entertainer. And it gave me an outlet to do what I really love, which was entertain. And also after getting on Drag Race and being introduced to the world as this drag artist, and so many people fell in love with it, I didn't want to let those people down, you know. But it just got to a point where I was letting myself down more so, and I had to just figure out, just like, okay, you're gonna make some people upset, but at the end of the day, you have to think about yourself.
Yeah, but with like you not really being super excited about the drag aspect of it, why audition for like the show, like Drag Race? Was it just kind of like a last hurrah to see like maybe I'll like it more if this is a bigger opportunity, or like what was the thinking? People
told me to. Like everything that drag-wise, it's because people told me to do. People told, okay, I don't think I even talked about how I initially, from the very beginning of getting into drag. So when I was dancing, I got to dance, a lot of my teachers and friends was like, you dance too flamboyant. You would never make it in this industry, so you might as well go do drag. You'll be successful in that. So that is the first thought of me starting drag. That's how the whole thought process started. So people kept telling me to audition. I used to work at Lips. Now, I don't know how true this is about this person, but we used to always have all kind of people come to Lips. This person came to Lips one day, saw me perform. They was like, I am best friends with RuPaul. This is what they told me. Some white lady. I can't even remember her name. I am best friends with RuPaul. You should audition for the show. I'm going to tell RuPaul about you. That's what she said. I said, okay. I had no intentions on actually auditioning for the show. But I auditioned the next time it came around, which was season 13, and lo and behold, I don't know if she said something. But somehow I ended up on the show on my first try with a horrible drag. I had horrible drag when I auditioned for RuPaul.
What do you think it was like about your tape? Where they're like
My
this
personality.
One? You think personality?
Yeah, it was definitely my personality, hands down. Yeah.
You don't think it was nothing else?
It was oh, my performance, my lip sync challenge thing. What you do? Yeah,
You're like, I was just personality higher. That's all I had going for me.
I knew it. I knew my truth.
I think I'm the same way with you. Like, I think I was cast for personality and my dance skills.
RuPaul's Drag Race, she was casted for your personality and your dance skills.
Yeah.
Left my phone. I couldn't go nowhere.
Just like Drag Race.
Just walk out.
So you have this mindset of like, Drag Race isn't for me, but I'm a people pleaser. If they tell me to audition for the show, you get on, you do the show, and then all of a sudden you have like this large drag fan base. When did you like make the decision in your head, like, I'm gonna quit drag?
I told myself I would never turn down the opportunity to be on TV. A few weeks ago, before I actually came out with the article, they called me for Drag Race to come back, and I turned it down. And I knew at that moment, I said, "Oh, you're done." That moment, I was like, "Yeah, you're done. Like, you just turned down the opportunity to be back on TV." And I love Drag Race. Don't get me wrong. Like, Drag Race is the reason why I have the career that I have now. But when I did that, I was like, "Yeah, there's no more fight left for me." So I just, at this point, just let the world know.
Was there anything that factored in outside of just not wanting to do drag? Was there anything with like the drag fan base in particular, or the reception, or like always being on TV, anything like that helped factor into that decision? Or did you really just want to take the opportunity to pivot?
When you leave this industry or whatever, what do you want your legacy to say about you as an artist? I didn't want my full legacy to be me being a drag queen, dancing around, lip syncing in clubs. I wanted more for myself because I never really consider myself a drag queen. I just consider myself an artist, because I feel like when you're a drag queen, sometimes they can put you in a box and you can only do things when you're in drag. They don't see a lot of drag queens. They don't realize a lot of drag queens can do what they do in drag, they can do outside of drag.
Yeah.
They don't respect it when it's out of drag. So I didn't want my artistry to be based around me in a wig. Like, I want to be able to have the freedom to do whatever,
Yeah.
I did a performance a few months ago as androgynous character or whatever, and I had did my own music. And one of the drag queens there, she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm about to go on stage perform." She said, "Like that?" She said, "Where's your wig? Where's your pads? Why you got facial hair?" I said, "Well, this is my artistry for today. This is how I want to present on stage." Well, the people didn't come to see this. They want to see the drag queen, the hair and all this stuff. I was like, well, tonight I want to be this artist, this Lala Ri. Like, it's still gonna be the same performance, the Lala Ri experience, but just not in what the female persona, I guess, in a sense. Yeah,
It's like that last little bit of like drag femininity that you shed went into Joey actually wearing wigs now. So that's like,
right. Listen,
it's just that the universe balances out. It finds a way.
Some good came out, and Joey looks good.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's great. You're really like going on like this press tour and doing all this stuff and like making public announcements just to tell everyone that you don't want to shave your chin no more. Right. That's a lot of effort. That's crazy.
It is so crazy. I am more famous for saying I don't want to shave my chin hair no more than it was ever when I was in drag. All the time I did press was doing All-Star Weekend and whatever. I have been traveling the country and world talking about not shaving my chin hair. So if you want to be famous, stop shaving your chin hair.
Yep, there it is.
Quit school.
Well, the crazy thing too is that like with your drag, for me, like I think everyone hates shaving like their upper lip. That's like the worst part, having to shave that. But that's the part that you actually still shave. Like you still going through the effort, like shaving and everything. Yeah. It's just a little bit of chin hair.
It's just a little bit of chin hair. I don't know why. I don't even know if I can grow a full beard because I get laser anyways. But yeah, I've never liked this. It just makes me look like a.
We'll let the audience fill in the blank.
Yeah.
It's going to be ad lib, whatever you guys think she looks like.
Yeah.
I know like in the interview that you did recently talking about your departure from drag that you had some Rue girls reach out to you about also being interested in retiring now because of that. And we don't have to say name and air out their business. They end up quitting drag, they can talk about it. But what did those conversations look like them talking to you?
They felt inspired by it. Like a lot of them deal with the same thing, probably more deeper on their level. But a lot of them felt like they have been wanting to move away, but they were scared of what the fans would react, to it or whatever. And they said they felt very inspired and motivated by it. So
Yeah. I would say as someone that's been on the show, like I don't have any plans to like quit drag, but it does feel almost.
Keep going.
You got me on that one. But despite what random androgynous non-drag queens try to tell me, I don't have plans to quit drag. But I do feel like after being on the show, it's almost like a pressure where I feel like I can't. And I feel like I'm sure like a lot of other queens also feel that way because it feels like you're kind of pigeonholed where it's like now you have to do this.
Yeah.
And you have this expectation of like the drag audience and how you have to do your art.
Yeah.
And I had a similar conversation with Raja even about how she has this kind of idea in her head about how she has to package things because of the expectations that have been created. How do you feel like your persona and like the artist that you are has been liberated since announcing your retirement?
I feel so much more free now. Like I'm actually enjoying the journey more, the creative journey of it. Because at the end of the day, I am still going to be Lala Ri. I'm still going to give you the Lala Ri experience. That is not going anywhere. And I just want people to understand that I'm just removing the wigs and the heels, the drag persona. Everything else is going to be completely the same. Like I'm not trying to be out here trying to come off as this macho masculine man because I'm not. I'm not even close to that. But the only thing, nothing is changing other than the look. But everything else, it's still the same.
Well, with your like art, like your persona playing with gender a little bit and being like a little androgynous, and obviously you're gonna be doing some more like masculine aspects and feminine aspects. Is there gonna be like little echoes of the old Lala every now and then for performances or art projects and things?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be because that's still a part of me, a part of who I am and this journey. I will never forget where I came from or how I got into this point in my life.
Yeah.
But I want focus heavy on it.
It's not gonna be the main focus. It might be something that comes up for if the mood calls
and
for
the
it.
check.
Or the check calls for it. Yeah.
Definitely the check.
With that, because obviously you're in focus on like your music and like modeling and creating art and stuff. Like, what do you have like planned with like your new like persona?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of like things do you have coming up?
Yeah, so music, working on a new EP. We have my first single is dropping January, I think 24th or 23rd, whatever that Friday is. I think it's the 24th. Called "Take Me Away." I can say that. I just shot. Well, can I talk about that? What I just shot this past week? I'm sorry, talking to my PR. Okay, yeah. I just shot something really amazing that comes out at the top of the year. Well, I can't wait for people to see. I shot a TV pilot, a few months ago here in LA. I can't talk about that either, I guess. So I've been working already, but all these things just happened in the top of the year. Yeah.
Do you find yourself working harder now that you're not doing drag, or is it just a different kind of workload?
It's definitely harder.
It's harder?
Yeah, because in drag, I'm just putting on, the costume and doing, 2 numbers and a meet and greet.
Do you think this is easy?
Probably not for you, but for me, yeah. No, it's not easy. Let me not disrespect, because I don't want the girls to say, well, she quit drag now you want to just bash the drag queens. I don't. I love drag queens forever. But when I say this is much harder, like I am like on set for hours doing like photo shoots, and I had like 2 podcast interviews today, and I have to shoot some content for something else. Like it's longer days. Like I'm not just going into a club, lip syncing to 5-minute numbers and get my check and going home.
So it's like what's going to be like your main focus moving forward? Like the main thing you want to work on, like more TV appearances, music, modeling?
I will probably want to focus more so on my music. Well, no, honestly, my acting, because I really enjoyed
Acting?
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping we were going to get some more of this. I want some more modeling. I want some more of these like little poses. That's what we want to see more of.
But what was going on with my legs, child?
It's like, yeah, the little knees you got going.
The little knees, child. Listen, I remember this photographer, he had hit me up on Facebook. I thought he was trying to have sex with me, but he really turned out as a real photographer.
Oh. Yeah. So wait, you thought that he's trying to have sex with you,
yeah,
but you still want to go do the photo shoot just in case?
I wanted to have sex with him, so at the time.
Well, so you actually disappointed. You're like, oh, we're really just doing photos.
Yeah, I was. I said, we actually outside with a camera, like, what is this? No, just I didn't want to have sex with that man. I want to have sex with his daddy.
Oh my God. Well, it's better to have loved and lost, right?
Okay.
So like with your current persona, like do you consider what you do still to be a form of drag, or is it just something else entirely to you? Like
I just classify as, I guess, queer art. I
It's queer
guess,
art.
yeah, androgynous. I mean, some people may consider it drag.
Yeah.
But for me, I would just androgynous queer art.
Mhm.
You know, yeah. I honestly don't like to put a label on it. It's just an artist. You know, just allow me to express myself.
Does this expression factor into your own identity at all? Like, has it changed how you yourself identify?
No, no. For me, it's always been a work uniform. I've always considered myself he, him, pronouns, male, whatever. For me, even when I was in drag, it was just a work uniform. Like I never wanted drag to define who I was entirely as a person.
But as you mentioned, like your music that you're really going to be focusing on now, I personally think that you have some of the better songs from Aru Girl. I say that kindly. There's some good ones out there, but some not so good. But I think like your music, I think you have a really good voice for music, and like songs like "It's Chocolate," like I really like that song, and I think you have a good sound. Like, do you have any certain plans, like genres you want to pursue or different avenues you want to take that you haven't already gone down?
Yeah. So
When is the country album dropping? I
When
think
is
is
the
the
country,
question
the
here.
Western
Yeah.
album tomorrow? Okay, go
Yeah.
check it out. Okay. No, actually, I was in the studio the other day, and we're experimenting with different sounds, like trying to find that right sound, because I grew up listening to all kind of music. My father was a DJ. Well, my stepfather was a DJ, so I was always around different types of music. So I would like to dabble in pop, house. I could do a little country. I like, a little country music. I like Tennessee. What's his name? Chris Stapleton. I love Chris Stapleton, child.
Is there like any kind of genre that you're just like I ain't touching that?
Oh, what is it? The head thrashing music, something that you would probably listen to. What is it?
Profiling, really?
Well,
So we can't expect like a thrash metal album from you.
yeah,
or
you
not?
cannot, like, that's just too much. Like, my head hurt. Yeah,
And you ain't got the hair to whip no more.
I ain't got the head of
You
it
don't
no
wear
more.
it. It's old
Yeah,
character.
So just like, imagine me trying to. I wonder what they look like. Okay.
We'll play extra slow mo.
Yeah.
See the cheeks sloshing around like the little slow mo videos of the dogs.
Yeah.
Like the slobber.
You just call me a dog.
Nah, we're not doing that. We are not doing that.
Canceled.
Give it to me for the last time.
Okay.
But with your music, you've already found that some success. Like you had like a campaign with like Walmart recently.
I did.
How did that come about?
Crazy, right? So I recorded what's it, Eat the Runway, I think during season 13 with KLP, who is this huge DJ in Australia. She reached out to me and she was like, hey, Walmart wants to put our song in their campaign. I was like, okay.
It was like a elementary back to school thing.
Yeah, I didn't know none of the details. I didn't know what it actually was until it actually came out. And I was like, okay, she sent over the paperwork and they was like, they're going to give us this. It was that check that really, sealed the deal for me. I'm sticking those residuals. Thank you, Walmart. That's why I was able to quit Jared. The realty. No. So, yeah, she called me. She was like, are you down? Because I had to agree to it, obviously. I said, of course. And here we are.
I read somewhere that you had something in a Walmart commercial, and I was like, oh, like what is that? Like a small, like little, like soundbite or something? And it was like the full song for a commercial. I was like, what the?
Yeah, I didn't even know how big it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be like a little soundbite as well, but it's a full
No,
thing.
it's like they created a music video with like a bunch of these kids dancing on desks and stuff.
Yeah, so that was, and for that song to be recorded with like 3-4 years ago. Insane.
Is there like any like certain artists that you really want to work with or have plans to? And obviously you have like some dream like really big artists, but is there anything that's like more attainable in the near future that you wish to collab with?
Yeah, I would like to work with RuPaul. You said attainable.
Well,
Cut that out.
I think she's more likely to work with you now that you're not doing drag.
No shade.
I honestly.
No, I would love to work with Big Frida. I am a huge
Big
fan
Frida.
of Big Frida. Like a song with Big Frida, the energy would just be insane. I would love to work with I don't know how attainable this is, but Victoria Monet. I am in love. Chloe as well. And one of my favorite artists right now in the moment is Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims?
Yeah.
Just imagine you on a song with Teddy Swims.
I don't know what that would sound like, but yeah.
We'll mesh it together. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Yeah, Teddy. I mean, and I think Teddy's actually from like Conyers, Georgia or something like that.
Do you know Cookie Kawaii?
Who?
Cookie Kawaii?
I had that last night for dinner.
She was a She does that song that was on a TikTok for a while. It's like, if I back it up.
Mm-mm.
No.
Too
Anyway,
ghetto for me.
she. I think you would really like her music, but she's a queer artist that I think is actually based in the East Coast somewhere. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
but the music, it's like if I was listening to it on the way here today, and I was thinking, imagining like if you were in like a song with someone and like your style kind of fits.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll show it to you later.
Okay,
But I think, yeah.
I like that. I'd like to do a song with you too, Maddy.
You want to do a song with me?
Yeah. I don't know what it would be about, but
We can make that happen.
we can.
Let me tell you something right now. First of all, let me wrap this up because that is the last of my cards that we have, the last bit of time we have today. But since you mentioned doing a song with me, I actually got you a gift.
Oh my God, what you got for me, child? I don't
Because you are wanting to take off on your music career, and I recently entered the rap game over the past year or so, and so I wanted to gift you one free verse on your next song.
Period.
Because I really want to see you succeed, so I'm gonna help give you that push to really get you going.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to cash that in, it's non-transferable.
Yeah.
So don't be trying to get me on a random Ocean Kelly song without you. That's only for you.
Okay. Like, no shade. I saw your rap battle that you had with Bob. And no shade, that was dope. Like,
Oh, thank you.
no, seriously, like, for real. Like, I was like, I might need a ghostwriter.
See, it's one thing to hear that from like my little like white cousins that don't know anything about music, but to hear it from an actual like artist, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
That means more.
Yeah, it sounds really good when the volume is down low.
Is it you came here today just to be mean to me? Is that what this is?
No, I'm giving it to you straight.
I came here. I brought you in today because I want to hear your life story and like talk to you and have a serious conversation. And you just want to bully me.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what it is.
Absolutely. You know, they say all the miscongenialities are really the meanest people in the world.
They are. Miscongeniality is who's the fakest for the cameras. All
it really
that is. Yeah.
No shade.
But yeah, we'll make it happen. Just let me know. I'll throw my name on a song. I'll have one Spotify credit.
Yeah.
It'll be like a feature on a random Larico song coming out soon.
Coming out soon. That's another thing too, the Larico thing. People, since I said I quit drag, everybody feels like they could just call me Larico like we good Judies.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
Lala, it is.
Oh, my apologies. The artist formerly known. That's another thing too. I'm curious about like why did you keep the name Lala Ri? Do you just like that as a brand or?
Yeah, because it's a brand. It's a stage name. It's still a part of who I am. Like I said, it's part of my artistry. You know, so it's not going anywhere. It's still.
Yeah, it's a solid name. I feel like Lala Ri and Larico are both like solid names.
Yeah,
so
really
known to go with. Yeah. You didn't have a bad pick, so you didn't have to do some shitty drag pun like most of those queens out here. So, but yeah, so that is the last bit of time we have. So like outside of a new song with me, what do you have coming up? Any projects that you can announce that you haven't already mentioned? Are your socials the same?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to actually Instagram. I'm looking directly at you. I've been trying to change my Instagram name from Miss Lala Ri to more like D Lala Ri. So I'm not sure when it's coming out, but hopefully by then it's gonna be D Lala Ri. But if not, it's still Miss Lala Ri. But yeah, at Lala Ri on everything else. You can find my music Lala Ri. Everything is still at Lala Ri. Yeah.
With your new persona, do you prefer Mr. Lala Ri now, or is it like what's the gender neutral for that? There's Miss, Mr. Is there gender neutral? Mix Lala Ri?
Right. I was saying, is it like mix or something?
Mix Lala Ri.
Yeah, that's the
Dr. Lala Ri.
I like that, Dr. Lala Ri.
Dr. Lala Ri.
Yes, I like that.
I think Silky be upset though because she's the only doctor. Dr. Reverend Lala Ri.
I don't want any trouble with Silky.
No
trouble.
You got all your socials. Possible new name coming soon. Music coming around the corner.
Music.
Modeling, maybe. TV pilots. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I've been working. Listen.
That's too much.
It's not. And I'm also working.
I upload one YouTube video every 2 weeks and I'm stressed the out. I don't know how you find the time.
Listen, I don't either. And I'm also working on I can't talk about this. Well, I'm starting a new company.
Okay.
And there we go. So, fill in the blank. I just gave you a hint.
Well, I'm excited to see what you do. Like, so I think you have started a very interesting endeavor that hasn't been seen by most drag queens. Because a lot of drag queens, they quit drag just to go back to just kind of day-to-day life, like normal life. You're one of the few people that have quit drag and have now started like a new persona under the name and kind of like repackaged the drag into something else. So I don't know, I'm really excited to see what you create with it, what you do with it.
Yeah.
And I have the utmost confidence in most of those aspects for you. So I'm excited.
Most of the aspects for me. Give it to me straight. Thank you so much, Maddy.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time in your
Maddy or Morphosis. Maddy, what was the first name? Maddy or Maddy Orphish.
Maddy Orphish. Maddy Orphish, yeah.
Maddy the Orphan.
Maddy the Orphan.
What did you say?
That sounds like the worst rap name ever.
Maddy the Orphan. Well, that's
That's gonna be the feature.
Right, that's
yeah.
the feature, right.
Mix Lala Ri featuring Maddy the Orphan.
Orphan.
It's a hard knock life. Okay, well, on that note, there's last bit of time. Thank you again for coming. And you can find you doing a million different projects. And you guys can find me right here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes or future guests. And join us next time whenever we have somebody else. Until then, bye, guys. And thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. Make sure to go to surfshark.com/Maddy to get started today for 4 extra months free.
Let's go.
We love it raw. Raw is law is what they say. That's what I heard.